Okay, we're playing some Gin Rummy today. This is a game that I usually play with my wife in person, but decided to play online today. So we're starting out with a nice run of 4 here, and got a potential run. I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. I don't want to hope for the inside straight, if you will, the 9 of diamonds. Okay, this queen isn't doing us a whole lot of favors. We'll go ahead and get rid of that one. And that 6 doesn't do anything for us. Let's go ahead and draw again. Okay, so there's some potential here for the 5s. We definitely want to start ditching these kings now, especially with the 3rd king already having been discarded. We're just hoping for 1 king at that point. So we have a potential to draw a 5, a 2, anything on either side of these straights. So I might want to consider holding out to go Jin at this point, but we'll see how things go. Okay. And we go Jin. It's a good first hand. I had lots of possibilities there to go Jin. You know, usually if you're only hoping for 1 or 2 cards, it's best just to knock, but if you have 4 or 5 possibilities that would send you Jin, you know, you always want to ride that out and see if you can grab one of those. We'll pass on that king. Doesn't do much for us. Sitting on a straight. The 9, 10 of diamonds, the pair of 10s have potential, the queens have potential, the 7 doesn't really do anything for us, so we'll get rid of that one. Okay, we do get a queen. And, you know, at this point it's still pretty early. I'm not worried about holding on to these higher cards. Like I said, those still have potential, so we'll go ahead and ditch the 4. There it is, 9, 10, jack. Now I could hold out and try to go Jin again, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that could send us Jin. But this early in the hand, I'm just going to go ahead and knock with 1 point. We're already winning. Now we're up to 81 points. No need to get fancy with it. Okay, that jack doesn't do much for us. We'll pass. Okay, we're sitting on some 10s. These queens and 9s have potential. So do these 2s and that 3 with the 2 of spades. We'll just go ahead and get rid of the 4 at this point. Okay, that 4 doesn't help anything. And we'll go ahead and get rid of that 5. Just hope for a 9 or a queen. After another turn or 2, we might start ditching some of these. Okay, so the queens and the queen-king combo have more potential than anything, so I'm going to go ahead and start ditching the 9s. Don't want to get caught with this many points in our hand. Okay, this is getting a little dangerous. We'll get rid of the king. Okay, now we have the queens. We can ditch the king. And now we're just hoping to knock. Yeah, we can knock with 3 points. I think that's safe enough at this point. All right, and that wins the game. Good game. All right, we've got another game of Gin Rummy here. So this king is going to do nothing for us. I'm going to pass on that. Nothing too special about this starting hand. Lots of potential for these pairs to develop into sets. Have some run potential, but maybe inside draws. Okay, that king still is going to do nothing for us. We will draw from the deck. As a general rule... Oh, sorry. So right now, there's still a lot of potential for the pairs. This 5 doesn't do a whole lot for us. It could potentially become a run with that 7, but hoping for an inside draw is never a good idea. So in general, I like to draw from the pile unless the discarded card does something beneficial for us immediately. So there we got a little bit lucky. And I think that we can go ahead and start getting rid of these jacks. So everything else has some potential. We don't want to get caught with these jacks. Queen doesn't do anything. So again, we got pretty lucky there. We could go ahead and knock, but there's some potential here for these 7s to turn into a set. We could draw an ace and go gin. So I might let this ride a little bit. So there we go. We can go gin. Yeah, when you have a lot of potential for cards that will send you gin, it's usually smart to at least give it 1 or 2 turns to see if you can make it happen. That jack would have potential to pair with this queen and the jack, but I think we're going to pass on that one. So this 9 doesn't really have a home unless we drew the 10, but again, hoping for an inside straight is a fool's errand. Okay, we'll go ahead and ditch this queen. Important to ditch the queen of diamonds because the queen of clubs can become a run with the jack. He ditched a queen as well. Okay, that 10 doesn't help us any. All right, now this 7 doesn't really have a home, nor does the 8. The 7 could potentially become a run, or become a set if I extend this run on the high end. So I'm going to get rid of the 8 instead. Okay, I'll ditch the 9. Still hoping to draw another jack. But now at this point, I can ditch that one. Okay, now the question is, do we knock? And we're deep enough that I bet he is sitting on something pretty low. I'm not going to knock at this point. I don't want to be undercut. Okay, now we could knock with 4 points. But there's a little potential here. I'm going to keep playing. I could draw an... Okay, and there he goes out. Knocked with 1, but he only scores 1 point, so all good. Okay, this is a pretty good initial draw. We don't want that king. There's an outside chance we could draw that queen. This 8 has no home. We'll go ahead and get rid of that one. Okay, get rid of that queen. Wow, that's that's some luck right there. So there's some potential with this 4-5 of spades and this pair of 5s. This 3 doesn't belong anywhere. Okay, we can knock with one. I think we are definitely going to do that, especially since we're up and winning. Okay, only score 4 points, but anything helps. We'll take that one, complete the run, and just about everything has potential except for this 2. But the 2 is so low, I don't really want to ditch that at this point. The 7 doesn't really have a home. Same with this one, we'll keep getting rid of that. Oh, wow. Big round for him. Okay, that 6 doesn't seem to help anything. We'll go ahead and pass. Hmm. I'm going to get rid of the 8. Again, there's an outside chance we could draw that Queen of Hearts. And the 8 definitely is not useful, so. Okay, we'll put those jacks in a set and ditch the king, since we don't have any use for it anymore. Oh, that's a bad play by him. Now we take the jack, and some more potential here for the 2 and 3, because here we'd be hoping for an inside straight. We're so early, I think I'm going to go ahead and knock. Yeah, score 21 points. Now we're just 2 away from winning. So no reason to take any risks. I'm probably just going to go ahead and knock at any point here. Okay, that jack doesn't help us. And neither does that 10. We'll take a random draw. Yeah, these kings and queens don't do much for me. Okay, nice run there. Okay, the 7 and 8 have potential, the 5 does not. Ditch that. Eight doesn't help us. So it might be nice to keep hanging on to these, the 7 and the 8. But at this point, we just want to knock. I'm going to get rid of the 7 because there's still a chance that we could luck into the 4th 8 here and go gin. Okay, we'll just go ahead and knock. He might undercut us, but that's all right. Nope. We got it. All right, good game. Okay, we've got another game of Gin Rummy here. Nothing too special about this hand to start things off. 4 doesn't help us, so we'll go ahead and pass. And ditch one of these high cards. Okay, there's potential for just about everything here except for the king and 6 of spades. We'll ditch the king of spades, hope that he isn't hanging on to 2 kings. All right. And this 6 of spades really doesn't belong anywhere. Nine looks like it should help us, but it really doesn't, so. There we go. Now that that 8 is taken, this 9 doesn't have a home. Okay, right now the 4 of diamonds is the most out of place. All right, and at this point we maybe need to start thinking about how to go out and knock. Hate to split up these 7s, but that's going to be the best course of action. And we'll go ahead and knock here, see what our opponent has. All right, all that work for 1 point. So we'd rather have 1 than our opponent have 1. Okay, this jack has no future. Okay, so this is tricky. I can either hope for drawing the jack of spades and getting this nice run of 5, or go ahead and start ditching these. I'm going to ditch the king and probably eventually the queen. Hoping for that. Well, it's a moot point. Can't do much about that one. Okay, this jack doesn't really have a place in my hand. Does in my opponent's, though. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this 6 of spades because there's the potential for the 5 of clubs. Ah, and there it is. And we can go gin. All right, made up quite a bit of ground on that one. So now we can play pretty conservative. We'll probably knock as soon as we can. King doesn't do anything for us. And this 10 has no future here. This 10 does. We'll go ahead and ditch the 9 of clubs. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the 8 here because there's the potential for either side of this straight to be played. Still waiting on a jack. Okay. I really just want to be able to knock at this point. The question is, will he have undercut me? I think I can afford to take the risk at this point. All right, he does not, so I win the game. Good game.